Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I am Samantha. Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. We're here with a special guest,
Yes, we
our
are.
bestie, Courtney.
Hi.
Courtney is here.
She's back with her popular opinions. And
What?
last time we saw her was in June for our Juneteenth episode, and she's back. So we're happy.
Yep, she's back and giving us some moral support on this election day eve. So yeah, we have some wine over here and a light of J in a second. So how are you, Alexis? How are you feeling?
Yes, we actually just for full transparency recorded the beginning of this already, and then our audio fucked up, so now we have to redo it. So literally just repeat what we were saying. But I'm doing great. Like I was just saying, doing great. My workout class was tough but good. We had good dinner. I had the day off, so I was happy about that. And I am an optimist, so I'm right now I'm feeling fine. What about y'all? I mean, this is another thing. I was talking to someone about this, maybe Miguel or someone, but the early states that are coming in right now are all the states that, their polling's closed at 7 or 8, which happens to be Kentucky, very red states. So it's not this is all expected that most of the states right now would be red coming in. So it's this goes this every 4 years. And so that's why I'm not too worried right now. How are y'all?
I am also feeling optimistic. I was saying when we first started recording that I've been at work all day, so I haven't been really paying attention to any of the polling. And now that we just literally turned on the news just to see, which that made me starting to feel nervous. What you were saying, it's just the states that are showing red. It just is nerve-wracking. So, but
it will soon flip.
Yes, all in all, I feel like I might be being a little delusional and just being she has to win. I cannot fathom a reality where she.
I mean, I remember remember 4 years ago when we all went to sleep with Trump with the ballots coming in and Trump was still kind of winning, and then overnight, once they got the bigger states, right, Pennsylvania, all these other bigger states, we woke up and Joe Biden was in the lead, and which was expected. And then that started all the conspiracy theories with Trump being oh, they were doing, Democrats were throwing away ballots in the middle of the night. And so I just feel this is all expected right now, right. And possibly when we go to sleep we might see a shift, or when we wake up we'll see the shift.
Yes.
That's but who knows, don't nothing's set in stone. It could be different, but that's just my thoughts. How are you doing, Courtney?
I'm nervous, honestly, for either way. Obviously, I'm nervous for Trump to win, but I'm also nervous. I'm also nervous if Kamala wins, because I just feel like the people that don't support her are wild, and I'm kind of nervous to see how are they going to react to her winning. Hopefully she wins. I want her to win.
I've worried about that too. I've worried about that too, because especially with the assassination attempts on Trump, I'm I really hope no one tries anything once Kamala wins. They need to put her in a box, seriously, until inauguration, and then in inauguration she needs to be in on a different planet.
I'll also say something that's making me feel pretty good is that two astrologers that I really respect their predictions by looking at Kamala's chart right now and Trump's chart. It's showing that Kamala's gonna take this one, and then there's another. I was listening to Higher Learning, and
I love Higher Learning.
Yeah, they had a professor from American University that has predicted the past whatever a lot of elections.
Yep, I've seen him.
Yeah, so he also predicts Harris. So I just have a good feeling that I
think we'll prevail. It'll be close, but I think it'll prevail.
And I think we're also gonna have a good time celebrating, which I'm excited for. So,
Oh my gosh, we will have such a good time
I
celebrating.
mean, nobody can tell me anything once there's a black woman as
And
president.
people are already prepping. Like, literally, the last time I was home, I'll never forget. I was walking down the steps. There was a box on the bottom of the steps, and like all of it was just Kamala t shirts. And so I'm just like, and this was in Maryland. My mom just randomly ordered like 20 Kamala t shirts. And so it's just like people are already prepared. My mom's best friend, like also line sister, you guys have to meet her, and y'all will obviously be invited to this party. But she's like this rich, like lavish lady who lives in like near y'all type of Maryland, and she like literally like is throwing like a huge party. She has like she's rich enough that she has like a staff at her house, like that type of rich.
Whoa. Who
And
is this lady?
her name is Miss Angie. We just call her Miss Angie or Aunt Angie. And she literally is throwing like a huge party. She's like gonna have like it's gonna be like waiters, like people walking around with like things at her house
This
because
is
she has a
inauguration.
beautiful house for inauguration. So I'm just like, and this she's a
Can't
Delta,
wait.
obviously. So it's like we are ready to party and ready to drink, and it's gonna be great. And then Howard tonight, her acceptance speech will be at
I
Howard.
know.
I mean,
Oh
I was
my
like,
god. I'm
Mom, are
gonna
you
have
going to
tears.
Howard? Like,
It's gonna be like if when do we win, y'all?
mm-hmm.
Like we're gonna be the first black woman president before a white woman president. Like this is like really a big deal. I never would have thought I would
Absolutely.
win this crazily.
Well, over the week, I do want to like. I feel like this is a good segue, if we
Mm-hmm.
may.
Let's go.
Let's get to it. All right, let's go. So,
Let's go.
let's go. So, over the past like 2 weeks, we've gotten a lot of new celebrity endorsements, right? So, I'll just pose this question, right? Cardi B. We previously talked about her a couple months ago, right? With Cardi
Yes.
B, being like,
And
I'm not
Victoria
voting.
Monet.
Yeah, but specifically, I wanted to say Cardi B because she changed her mind. But Victoria Monet did too. You're right. So yeah, they were like, we're not voting. Here are good third party candidates. They're not voting because of Palestine. This week, they did endorse Kamala. Bad Bunny spoke after Trump called Puerto Ricans trash and everything else like that. Bad Bunny endorsed, and Sexy Red, has gone to now support
Yes.
Kamala.
Which is
Azalea
crazy.
Banks. I mean, there's so many people. So I guess like my question to y'all is, do you think any one of those are super significant? Does it matter? Do you think it'll sway anything? And just how do you feel about those endorsements and celebrity endorsements just in general?
I definitely feel like celebrity endorsements are, I mean, we got to be real. Like, the people that we have to take into consideration every person and, like, just where they are at. And some people really love, like, like really follow and, you know, like follow what Cardi B says or like whatever. So I think, and also just to be on the right side of history. Like I want to know where these celebrities stand, so I know where I'm spending my money. And also, like I said, this election is just way too important. It's like it's just one of those ones where it's like it's just crazy. Like we are literally facing, you know, literally going back to not having rights as women and as voters. And so I just feel like, yeah, I want to know where these celebrities stand. I did see too, like, and this is random because I don't really care about Katy Perry really,
Oh
but
yeah,
like
Katy Perry did too. Yeah.
yeah, which I was a little bit nervous about.
Oh,
I was a little
absolutely. She's
I
had
was
a
a little
past.
yeah. So
hmm
yeah,
What are
I
your
was
thoughts, Courtney?
Well, I think that they're important. I think it's unfortunate that they're important because I feel like I wish that people would just listen to what
reality. Yeah.
right. But like for instance, like Bad Bunny and like Nicki Jam.
Yeah.
Nicki Jam who
Mhm.
like I think he
Endorsed Trump.
performed. Yeah, he was at one
He
of
was
like
at a
the
rally.
rallies.
Yeah.
And Trump didn't even know who Nicki Jam was. Trump thought Nicki Jam was a woman.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I mean, honestly, from living in Miami, I've seen a lot of Latin people support Trump.
Mhm.
And I know that some of them also ride really hard for like Bad Bunny and
Mhm.
and like reggaeton people.
Absolutely.
So I'm just like, hopefully
Yes.
this helps.
I think that made a big difference.
I think Bad Bunny was the most
like
crucial
the
one.
Puerto Rican comments.
Yeah.
Like there's just been like comments that I think are literally like I feel waking people up at the very end. I mean, I've seen like people saying like, yeah, like I was gonna vote for Trump, but like after his comments about Puerto Rico, like you know, and it's just like
that one woman who went back and tried to take her vote back.
No, who was that?
Say it again.
There was some woman who voted for Trump, and then that rally happened, and then she tried to go
Oh, that's
back
actually hilarious.
vote away and vote
No,
for
girl.
That's
like,
what you get. I mean, this is my thing with the endorsements. I think that like Bad Bunny's is probably the most crucial one. I feel like the rest are good, and I'm sure there'll be, you know, a couple people who join, but I think Bad Bunny, I mean, I feel like one thing that I feel like people don't realize, and I feel like I realized it more living in Texas, is like how big of a star Bad Bunny is, like globally, right? Not like a national star, global star, you know, and like has a lot of sway, a lot of influence. And so it's just like, I think that's the most crucial one. But I mean, this is kind of how I feel because I've been talking to Julia about this, and like, and we kind of talked about this last week, but anyone who doesn't vote at this point, if I'm aware of it, I would never like talk to them again. Like I really feel that way because it's just like for me, like, and I understand a lot of people are like, and I, you know, I've talked about this a couple weeks ago, like with the Palestine vote, they really see this as like a, you know, a defiance vote and a resistance vote, and you know that's their single issue, and you know, if you're Palestinian, I understand. I'm sorry. Like anyone else, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, for example, Julia, when we were walking today, she was talking about one of her friends who's not voting, who's a person of color. And I was like, she doesn't know her history. I'm sorry. Like, anyone who's a person of color not voting just doesn't know their history. Because I'm like, to me, I would be literally embarrassed to not vote knowing that, like, and y'all know, like, every summer I spent my summers in North Carolina in Yanceyville, like a rural ass, poor ass black town, in the trailer that my grandmother bought for the family. I have seen like poor black people walking to polls, like, you know, like literally like it is hard life, but they're doing it anyway. I would just feel like it's such a spit in the face to like my history, my ancestors, to take such a vote so likely or to skip out on something that they've had to work so hard for or die for. And then this whole thing of like, you know, well, this is the one issue. It's like, throughout the time of Black people having the right to vote, there has never been a candidate that we've been 100% happy with. However, we've understand the stakes that are different for us, that like we will still have to vote for the person we're not all the way happy about because we don't have the privilege to not. So when for all these white people in my experience, like white liberal people that are like, well, I'm not doing it. It's just like, it is the most privileged thing to do, to be like, well, I won't do it. And I understand the consequences won't be so dire that I feel compelled to like to take a vote. And then also just feeling so like victimized by the fact that now they have a candidate that they don't 100% love. It's like, okay, this is your one time having the experience of not having a candidate you don't love and you want to completely blow up the whole structure. But Black people have been doing that for years. Years.
Candidate that they 100% love.
Exactly.
That's scary to me.
Exactly.
Tell me a president that you loved everything.
It's just like disgusting to me because I'm just like, it's a spit in the face for people of color that actually had to like either die for the vote, work for the vote, or for the sake of white people's rights or white women's rights, voted for a candidate they didn't particularly love and didn't say just fuck off, I'm not voting at all. And so it's just annoying to me.
My thing is just like, it is just the easiest, simplest, like besides obviously voter suppression that happens, which is like another reason like why we should vote, because obviously there's something to this if you know people are trying to suppress their vote. But I just feel like, sorry, I'm like losing my thought. What was I just saying?
Were you talking about voter suppression?
And then before that,
people not trying to vote.
Well, it was the easiest thing. Like, I mean, obviously, I am a voter. Like, I have voted since I could vote. And I mean, this time I just feel like I just paid a little bit more attention to just like, I don't know, just the experience of it. Like, I feel like I have other times, like every time it's been easy. It's like you go in for 2 seconds, there's barely a line where I live, you know, there's rarely a line. it's like going to the library and ticking a box and then literally taking like 15 minutes of your time, maybe. It's just like, it's not that serious to like, it's that serious, but it's like, it is such a simple act that like you do so much in a day that it's like, okay, you can't do this simple thing. Like, come on, like, it's no excuse. It's just no excuse.
Well,
And
some
like,
people just think it's
I
like a
just feel
defiance
like
vote.
a lot of people, even if you feel like, because it's so simple, people feel really strongly, like people that you care about, like your, like your grandparents or your partner or just people in the world. You see people like going hard, like this is like serious.
Like when you go to vote, there's so many other things that you are
Right.
also voting for.
Yes.
And everything is so important. And it's just like I know there's so much that has to change with our presidential election like system. Like it really is fucked up, truly, and like it does need to change. But like we voted on abortion rights.
Yes.
Like we voted on the legalization of weed. We voted
Florida,
on like
yeah.
who's gonna be in the Senate, who's gonna like be in your state's Supreme Court.
Yeah, like in New York, what was on the ballot was like protections for immigrants. Like, there's so many other things you want, that you want to vote for.
And I just feel like and I'm just thinking out loud right now, like I feel like there's people that are like, we have to divest and stop giving our energy to this machine that's whatever. But like what I'm saying is like, it doesn't take that much energy to go it. I felt like I just always feel like I'm going to the library. Like, it's like I'm talking to cute older people, it's like I'm doing, like, it takes 2 seconds and it's just like, you don't have to play into the circus of it all and give yourself, I don't think it's healthy, honestly, to just like be. I know some people in the world are just like very anxious, and it makes sense, obviously, but I feel like you don't have to give it your energy in that way, in terms of like having like, oh, I need to, keep my energy. It's just like, if it's not that serious to you and like you feel like you don't want to like stress about it, just go and vote and not think about it. Like, I just feel like it's just the
I don't
simplest
know. Like,
thing.
it's just like
I
everyone
don't
wants
get
to be
it.
on their like moral high horse. I feel like it's really just a battle of like morality.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yes.
just like, okay, the people that are like, I want to divest, fuck the system, blah, 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 blah. I have a lot of things to say that I would just be like, okay, so doing nothing isn't going to like create this
Right.
like utopia place. So you just being like, fuck the system, I'm gonna sit at home and do nothing, that your purpose is still not served, right? And like, yes, like there's a lot of things that are like wrong with the American politics, but it's like, while you're like, let's be real, like let's be very real, right? We can all have these like very left ideas, which is amazing, but the system isn't going to get blown up tomorrow because you didn't vote, right? While you're living in our lifetime, I don't think I
Right.
will witness like the blowing up of this structure. I will believe it will happen at some point, but not in this life, my lifetime. And so it's just like, while I'm here, I'd like to make changes that are like healthier for marginalized communities, for the planet, for so many things.
Mhm.
And so it's just like, for me, it's just like a disingenuous vote, because if your whole thing is like, let's reimagine in America, your
Right.
vote is literally going towards this like
Yes.
better,
Right now.
thing,
You got to be present. Like,
right?
people are not being present. They're just like, well, we're going to build new blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, that doesn't happen in one day. And this is
Yeah,
where we are.
and
Like,
that's why.
and
Sorry,
people
finish.
that are on that high horse, like, I'm sorry. Like, I want to see what you're doing. Like, like, I
They're
want
not
to
doing
see.
anything. Let's be fucking real. And even just like the Palestine vote, I'm like, not voting isn't a win for Palestine. Like, not voting is not making Palestine better. Voting Trump winning is certainly not going to make Palestine better.
Right.
So that's why I'm just like, it's disingenuous. Like, you actually don't care about Palestine getting better if you don't vote for Kamala, to be honest.
And if
And
you're
to me,
not
you also.
voting for women's rights of the people that you love, like, I'm just like, okay, Palestine, yes. Like, but like you said, Trump is not going to make that
And not voting is
better.
also not going to make it better. You just did nothing. That's why I'm just like,
Yeah,
it's disingenuous to say it.
yeah.
But yeah, these I've I have a couple people in mind that are like, well, fuck the system and whatever.
Who is that? I don't know who that is. Actually,
We'll talk later about it. But anyway, yes, endorsements are interesting. We'll see what happens. It'll be interesting because this is dropping tomorrow, and maybe we'll know by then or maybe not.
yes,
But
we will. Yes,
we
I
are
know.
predicting a
Please,
Kamala win in the
yes,
universe.
we are. And take care of yourself, like for real. Like, do not, if when you need to turn it off, or if you don't feel like you need to, like, some people just can't be watching it all day, and they can, check back randomly or whatever. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself, like, because like we're saying, it's just like this is not a one time thing. Like, it's such an important but like small, I feel like it's a big act, but it's just so simple. It doesn't take that much. And I do
There's
feel
something
like
wrong with the internet.
in our lifetime I think we are experiencing like unprecedented time. Oh shit. I
Why?
don't know. I'm just gonna pick up right back.
Pick it back up.
Unprecedented times.
Yes, 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 yes.
And but again, like you said, and like I want to remind everybody that we are on, like, we don't know what's like climate change. We don't know how much time we have. Like, for real, the way that sorry, hold on. The way that um, the way that it's 80 degrees in November,
Thank you.
we don't know what's going to happen. But while we're here and alive and like well, and, you know, if you are really claiming to make things better, and I don't want to hear about, I'm sorry, this is my last thing. I don't want to hear about like, you know, natural remedies of like, because I hear it all. I hear it all of just like, we can give ourselves abortions. Like, we've been doing this forever.
What?
It's like
People are
everybody
nuts.
doesn't have access to that information, and
Mhm.
people are losing their lives because like we're
And sometimes you need a fucking doctor. Like it's just like I don't know. Sometimes, and this is like off the.
exactly, because a lot of people died then. We have like science is a way, like we find out how to, I'm sure there was a lot of people that died having ectopic pregnancies, having things that we didn't have surgery for. We are still a young, as humans, learning about so much stuff. So it's just like I
Let's
just
just move on. We're saying,
no,
look,
say what you were gonna say. I want to hear it.
nothing, because this had nothing to do with politics. It was just like there's this also like I feel like for the past like maybe 5 years, and we can talk about this later or a different time. So we can move on to Meg the Stallion, but like there's been this like wave of just people being like pushing really natural remedies over science, which look, I'm all here for a natural remedy. Like I'm a lot girly. Like, like I'm ready to take an oil too or take a pill or whatever. But it's
No.
just like I feel like there's this like devaluing of science. And it's like not even like on a
In
politics and
medicine.
medicine, not even on a politics level, but just on like a cultural level. Like I feel like, you'll scroll through TikTok and it'll be like, a natural remedy for headaches or whatever. And it's like, look, I would love to put like, I used to put peppermint oil on my temple and my forehead when I had a headache, but also sometimes fucking Tylenol hits. And so it's just like,
It
I just
exists.
feel like there's just been this weird ass push for like natural remedies. And that's like I'm saying, we can talk, this is in itself could be like an episode. So we can talk about this later. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Let's wrap it up. So let's move on to another topic.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, are you gonna ask me?
Who's on trial? Sorry. Who's on trial? Sorry.
This week we are like, as well as the election stuff, we want to talk about Meg the Stallion's documentary that just came out this past week on Halloween. So Meg the Stallion is not on trial, but the people that have
Just the
like,
documentaries on trial, not in a bad
yeah,
way, but yeah.
no, yeah. And also, I do want to put up some people on trial though that were in that documentary. But I will say that it was a really great documentary. I thought it was really well done. It was really cool to hear her story from her words. Like, obviously, we've like pieced together her story, like, knowing that her mom passed and that like you know her dad passed, but I never knew like how or when, and so it was really cool to just see some like the background, the the behind the scenes of that. And it was also very raw and vulnerable, like I just can't imagine. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and talk about like hear your thoughts because I know you watched it today, and yeah, I know you watched it today. So, and I had a lot of thoughts when I finished it. I thought it was just really
You should go
well.
first. I think my thoughts are probably very
Okay.
minor compared to yours. Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, I mean, I just love how she has like incorporates like the anime design. Like I thought that
Mm-hmm.
was really beautiful to just like, give us a visual for some of these things. And I also feel like, I don't know, just like seeing it from her perspective and like seeing, like I've heard about her friend Kelsey, but I never really knew how close they were and like how she was in, the videos like with her mom and like was really there from the beginning. And I can't imagine losing a friend like that, especially in the way that she did over some bullshit and like her choosing to not stand up for her when she got shot. Like that is insane. Like that is some real type of like, you know, snake in the grass, like just Judas type thing, like somebody really close to you and their first reaction isn't to like go to the hospital. Like she like wasn't there, she was talking to Tori in jail. Like it was just wild to see all of that and hear the calls. And um so yeah, it just, I mean, I already like really respect Meg the Stallion, but I feel like hearing the story and her words just really gave me a lot of context. And just like she is so young, and she also really is like, I feel like the best or just the biggest like female woman rapper out right now. Like I feel like she is international, which I feel like is so like once you kind of have that market, it's just like, and her album is really good. Like I really love Act 2. Like she is just talking her shit and it just standing by all of it, like that is, I feel like she's talking her shit and it's like she walks the talk. So yeah, I just really loved how it was done. I thought it was like really, really well done. I liked how they incorporated. I like that she had the receipts from all the people that were like coming up against her and just kind of showing like in this, like a lot of people had a lot to say and still do about like Tory Lanez and caping for this weird ass guy. He is so fucking weird. And it's just, I just love when there's just like, justice and somebody gets to like tell the real story. And now, more people, it's just even more validating. Like obviously some people like, we were all kind of looking at, I don't know. Like I didn't know who Tory Lanez was for real.
Oh,
You
really?
know?
Mm.
Yeah. Before this, hell no. Like I couldn't name you a Tory Lanez song right now. To
I
be
could.
honest.
I had actually one on my Spotify years ago. I think doesn't he sing "Say It"? It's like
I don't know.
"Say It." Prove it. Like it's like he samples that. Like do it, prove it. Like he samples that
I
song,
don't
and
know
it's
what his voice sounds
he had a
like.
song
Is
on
he
the
a
radio
singer?
called R&B singer, yeah, but he had a song on the radio called "Say It," and I remember putting it on my Spotify. Like I that's the one song I know from Tory Lanez. Yeah,
Well, yeah. So, like, I was very confused when everybody was standing up for, him. And then, like, I remember you saying, like, I feel like LeBron's kind of weird. Like, he just posted up that, like, singing. Yeah, like, there was a clip of LeBron James. Like,
he's always been corny though.
Courtney hasn't seen the doc yet,
Mm.
but basically, like, she had the videos of people like saying, like, there was a guy that was like, they should have shot her in the head, like, just crazy shit, just the amount of hate and, like,
Yeah,
amount of media that this young woman had to go through, this young black woman that is not messing with anybody. Like, that was just the craziest part to me, and who has been through so much. And I can't imagine entering the industry and not having any guidance or guardians, like, there, like, having it one moment who's like telling you everything what to do, and then, like, the next moment not having that. And she is just, I mean, the fact that she is where she is just amazing. I just know her mom's so proud of her. I'm done.
yeah. I mean, I definitely think she's proud of her. I don't know. I feel like I was less struck by the whole Tory Lanez thing. I don't know. It's like I feel like when it came out initially, I believed her. I think
So did we.
most of the men. I feel like the majority. I would honestly say, sometimes it's like the hate's louder. You feel like the hate's louder than like the actual support. But I would say the majority of people in my eyes believed her. It was just that like a lot of the hate was extremely loud, and they were coming from like also people with platforms, and so I can see a world where she that kind of overshadowed the support. But I remember like immediately at that time I was a part of a black woman like academic like reading group. Every Friday we met, and like from the moment that happened, there was like them producing articles to different journals about it, people on podcasts talking about believe her, believe black women. So I feel like for me I was less struck by it. It's like I believed her from the jump, and she really didn't even have to pull out receipts for me. Like as far as like
I mean, I agree,
as far as
Alexis,
I was just
but
gonna say, like, as far as like the celebrities, it was good that she put them out, but I also feel like we were not gonna forget. Like, I feel like LeBron James was
people
like the
don't
number
know
one
them.
cornball that like everyone talks about
People
when it
worship
well,
this man,
and well,
Alexis.
they do, but also like people also clown him. Like I don't know, I
I
feel like
don't
now
hear
that
him.
I'm
I
on
don't feel
like
like
now that I'm on like WNBA Twitter, and like I now get the NBA content, I feel like a lot of people like in my timeline are very critical of LeBron James. Like, and it seems as though this has been like, yes, he's a basketball star, he's really great. Everyone
well,
talks
I
about how
just
great he
want
is,
you to
but
know,
it
like,
seems like
I don't think
he
that's the majority of the black.
I think the majority of black people did believe. This is just my opinion. Believed Megan Thee Stallion. I just think there were like a couple. There were a lot of, not a couple, a lot of, but not the majority people that
I'm
like
more so
were
talking about
very like
LeBron.
critical. Oh, LeBron. What about him? That
Like,
he didn't believe her.
I feel like the majority of black people don't think that LeBron is a cornball. Like, I
I
think
don't
that
know.
they really, I think that they
I think
really
they
are like,
respect him for
they
his
have like a cute
basketball.
family,
I think they
like,
respect him for
he's the
that, but I
greatest
think
of
they think
all
his
time.
personality is off, like is cornballish. I have seen that.
But
Like I feel like they respect him for the other
not
stuff.
an abuser, like,
No.
like, not somebody that's gonna ride for this man that's
Well, I
clown.
think that it's kind of
I
changed.
was
Like I think people
shocked.
now see LeBron as that. Like I feel like because then he also in the past couple of months has had weird tweets about other black women that I feel like now people kind of see him as that. But regardless, that's really not that's like the smallest point I have.
I
What I'm
have a
trying to say is that
Question.
why? What? So you keep saying that people didn't believe Meg.
no, I
What?
think people did believe her.
No, but like, okay, so there's two camps. There's people who
Mm-hmm.
believed her and people who didn't believe her.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
What did they not believe? That
They
she
were
got
like,
shot?
she changed her story up because she didn't.
Well, yeah, who
So,
shot
and that was
her
also
and
crazy too, to like hear her take on the evening. Like, I just put myself in that situation of just like, she was in her swimsuit. I didn't realize all that. And I don't know, hearing it again for me and also having that like visual, it was just, and obviously I was struck then, but it just struck me again this time of just like this woman and then also with
I
just
just
the
wanted to
context.
finish though, like what I was struck
Hold
by.
on, let me just say, we're still answering Courtney's question too.
Okay.
So
Hmm.
like, I just feel like, just to like hear like how scared she was in that moment of just like,
Hmm.
and then, just wanting to say that he didn't do it. And then like while she was at the hospital, like she's trying to just protect this black guy, just like, no, like he didn't, like, it's okay, whatever. And then they're like, well, there's bullet fragments in here. Like, it's just like, I feel like, yes, and we knew that, but that is what people are questioning her on. And even something that's become a topic is just she to Gail King, she like said she didn't have sex with Tory Lanez, but like in the doc she said that she did, and she just like,
People are
yes,
mad about that.
people are just focused on that.
I'm
But
like, yeah, I don't want to admit that I had sex with this
and
disgusting man.
some people definitely are like, like, I don't blame you. So anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of what
That's
people aren't believing, or they're
that's
just
so
really
annoying.
questioning her. But okay, Alexis, tell us what your shock.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, finish and say, like, I was really impressed by like her work ethic. Like, I really like seeing the day to day of celebrities' lives, especially someone at that like level. So it was really interesting and cool to see like what her days look like,
Mhm.
and she really is like an incredibly hard worker. And then I was also really struck by just like I would love for her to do another documentary where it really didn't center this Tory Lanez situation at all, but more so centered just like her personal life. Because I'm actually like very curious, like who is her like close circle now that this has happened,
I
especially now
know.
that both of her parents have died. Who
I
is
know.
like the person that if she needs advice on like financial shit, that's not like a professional or like just wants to vent about work, that she would call, that's kind of like family or is family to her. um I don't know, I'm really interested in like I guess orphaned adults, like young adults who have lost their parents like before the age of 30, or in and it's just like how are you navigating kind of living with
Mhm.
no
I know. It's like an
person to
ongoing
answer to.
story.
So I
Yeah.
was more so struck by that. Like that was like to me the like groundbreaking thing of like wow, you really see how like vulnerable and like unprotected, but then also like hard and raw of a position she's in, that like she really has no
Yeah, she has.
support
And
system in
then
that
to
kind of
have a
way,
friend, to have like the friend that was like with you, like through all that, like, yeah, it
I
is.
did know about the friend though. That was a
I
big
mean,
like during the
I do
trial.
know about that too, Alexis. I just feel like it was because, like I said, like you said, like I also it is shocking. Like I'm like thinking about like I hope this girl has somebody to talk
Hmm.
to. Like I wish she would. Like I hope that she is surrounded by good people. Like I know me and Danielle were just like, it sucks that you have to be like that. Like, because people be on some fucking crazy shit. Like friends, like everybody is not doesn't have your best intention. Like some people like are jealous, and it's just, yeah, I don't know, just the whole, like, even just navigating that like without parents, it's just
Hmm.
all of it. And I just hope that, yeah, it left me just kind of feeling like, she's still in the middle of her story too. So it's just like I hope
Hmm.
that now
Very
she
much
has
so.
friends, and I'm glad she had her, was it her niece or,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, like has her cousin and stuff. But yeah, she does seem, even as like an Aquarius too. I was thinking about it because Aquarius, like, it's hard for them to. They don't want. I sometimes it's like they don't want to like feel these deep ass feelings, and so like I could see why she kind of was like, went straight back to work, and obviously like,
Hmm.
her mom wanted her to do that, but just like, started drinking, started partying, like it's like and she's just been through a lot, and it's just like, oh my God, this poor baby. So yeah,
Yeah,
I just
you
pray.
definitely see her strength. I feel like that was the main thing I left with. Like, oh, she's a very strong. She's strong in many aspects, but like, I hope that she has a safe place to land at
Yeah,
times. You know, that's a soft place to land.
pray.
That's not because she does. You know, she is not a
I
superhero. She can't be
know.
strong all the time. But that's for Megan to figure out. Like, you know, it's like I think she will have to eventually work through this some more, really get into those feelings, talk, go through therapy.
Yeah.
And it sounds like she, you know, is willing to do that after going to the wellness retreat. But
And I'll just say
mm,
too, like on that note, like her album does sound really good. Like, you know, like going from
Yes.
Traumazine to like where she is now, like it's like I feel like she's just claiming like she has a song called like Right Now, and it's just like I'm that bitch right now. Like I am that girl, and it's just like you really
She
are,
really
bro.
is.
Like
mm-hmm,
you are. This like she's like, how you gonna be mad at the blueprint? It's just like,
mm-hmm,
damn, girl. Like you really
mm-hmm,
are naturally just this gorgeous and amazing, and you are rapping your ass off, okay?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And it is just, oh my god. And then she has a metal
mm-hmm,
song. Like it's just, I just love it for her. I do see the Rock Nation of it all. Like I
mm-hmm,
see them checks because
mm-hmm.
the level of just music, and I mean the samples. She has so many samples on this album. So
I
she
would love
has,
like
like she is a real deal. She's a real deal.
I also like you know want and she to like that's why I'm like I can't wait for like another documentary to come out because like I feel like you know like the things that people say like stereotypes or narratives that people have about black women is like oh they're strong you know like I'm talking positive ones
Mhm.
there's obviously negative ones that people have you know pushed but you know that they're strong and you know we're confident we're that bitch and it's just like I also want to see a portrayal because we do feel this way of when we're just like soft and like vulnerable and like quirky and weird and playful like you know there's so many other things that like we bring to the table like even just like us sitting here right now like you know we're very friendly we're very light we're very you know it's like it's interesting and so it's just like I just want that kind of portrayal to be on the mainstream a little bit more because I feel like yes, I got her strength at the end of this, but I'm like I'm sure there's so much more to Megan than strength. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? Like she's like
we know
loves
that.
anime, she
We know.
loves dogs. Like there's some quirkiness to her. Like I want to see. That's why I'm like I can't wait for the next documentary
I
where
feel
it's like
like
we
I
can
see
get
it though.
I
Yeah.
see it, but I feel like that wasn't the like what we're centering in this documentary. What we were centering was like
I mean,
her
she just wanted
story
to
arc
tell
of like
her
over
story,
exactly, and
but
that was
I'm
the
happy
purpose,
that
and that was great. But I
yeah.
can't wait for like the next documentary. You know how Beyonce constantly has documentaries, like the next one where we can more see like the other sides of her that's separate from this because she's so much more than like being strong from this. You
Absolutely.
know.
Oh my god, yeah. And I just, yeah, I feel like it's just exciting for her, and yeah, she's really that bitch. Like, and I love also just like last thing I'll say is just what she's doing for women. I think is really
Yeah.
powerful. And like you said, I do feel like she sprinkles some of that. Like, I love how she's talked about like anxiety and
Exactly. More of that. Like I want to
like this
hear
person
that.
is depressed, like you know, like.
Mm-hmm.
And she has this other song, like she has a song called "Worthy," and it's just good. Like I'm just proud, and I'm just happy that she is where she is. And yeah, I hope I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like so tuned in. Like I'm gonna be watching all her little videos, like her
Mm-hmm.
TikTok, and she's like, "It's
I'm
your
proud
girl."
of her too, and I kind of hope that she has her Rihanna moment where it's like the Chris Brown thing happened with Rihanna. That's all we talked about. Then she had the sit down interview with Oprah, but then eventually it was like, this is not like this is not my moment. You know, like I have so many other things to
Oh my
give,
god, she
and I
does.
hope that
She
that
is
is happening
fearless,
with Meg the Stallion, where
and
it's
I
like
also feel
we've
like
had this. Well, I was just gonna say like we've had this sit down, we've done it now we're rising above it. And not that like you can't talk about it, but it's just like there's just so much to you than this fucking weird corny ass man who shot you. You know, like let's move
And
past it.
I agree. And I also feel like, you know, some fans, we have the context of like way before, like I'm saying, like when she was first coming out, I remember just, you know, her first mixtape. And it's just like she's been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was such a blip, but it's real. Like, I can't believe this girl got shot. Like, that's crazy. You come into this industry, your mom passes, you wouldn't, like she said, she wouldn't have been there if her mom was like, if her parents wasn't there. It's like, I'm happy that she could get that off. Like, I do feel like she was happy to like show, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
these people were talking about me. Like, this is what that was like to, and then have her schedule too. Oh, I'm so glad I said this, and then we'll end it here. Lorianne Gibson,
I was happy to
her
see her
crazy ass,
actually.
her ass was crazy, and she had. I'm so interested that
It's
she.
interesting that you have that take because I feel like on Twitter I've been seeing a lot of people retweeting that moment with them, like when she's like, I'm nauseous, and they're like, Lorianne will be the one that like brings it out of you and pours into you. It's like funny because like you're having a different like
No,
take than other
especially,
people.
yeah, especially with this context of the Diddy shit. I felt it was weird. I'm just like, this girl,
Well, what about it? Like with Diddy,
I
because
think,
Lorianne has like lawsuits against Diddy herself. Like I don't think she stands with Diddy at all.
oh, I need to look into that.
Like
Because
she has like I'm pretty sure suing Diddy for sexual assault back when
I
she
need to
worked with
look into
him. Yeah.
that. This is the first
She
I'm hearing
doesn't
about.
stand for him,
I
no.
only know that I've only like talked to like our friend Soleil is just like wondering about Lorianne Gibson, so I haven't. I she's a choreographer
Who
that
was
was
like
like,
making the band choreographer.
yeah. So
Remember
I
Diddy fired her on camera. Like I think she's actually the one woman who would like yell at Diddy, but I know that she is suing him or has sued
okay.
him in the past for
Okay,
sexual
I'm
assault.
definitely gonna look that up. Okay, and
Yeah.
that changes the context because I
Mhm.
was going in of just like, this lady like almost just like putting it out there, just like,
Mhm.
yep, I was working with her.
Mhm.
But I still didn't I don't think it's like, girl, I'm gonna, and she had to check her. Megan
She
checked
did. She
her.
said, "Don't make me mad." Mhm.
Yes, because it's like, I can cry if I want
Mhm.
to, especially
Mhm.
because I was about to cry on stage. Let me cry now. It's
Mhm.
like, I don't like that. Like, this is show business. Like,
Mhm.
you have to
Mhm.
whatever. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, you can do that to I feel like there should be more people asking her, like, you don't have to do this. Like, you're not like, because especially just somebody in that fragile state, I can't imagine.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
that's good.
I feel like two thoughts on that, but I feel like this is separate. But like, I agree. You need to have more, just in every career, right? People who like look at you holistically as a person and are like, okay, you feel nauseous today, you can go home or you can rest. I also feel like there's this thing of like, like thinking about Normani, like, and this is just a little, like, it's just like how like she
Yes.
hurt her fucking foot and now she's not performing, and it's like, bitch, you could have sat down on a chair. There's so many other things, and so I do feel like there's this thing of like this industry is very hard. And like if you want to make it, unfortunately gonna have to be uncomfortable at times, and that means that like you might feel nauseous today. And I'm not saying she should have said this, but I'm saying I feel like there's two sides to it. You might feel nauseous today, but like if you want to be a great, you're gonna stay here and you're gonna stay here and practice today. And so I
Mhm.
feel like there's two sides to it. But it's like, yes, if you feel like you need the rest, go home, but know that at times that might cost you. And I feel like that's what Lorianne was trying to say, but it came out completely wrong. But I feel like she was trying to build her up because she said that thing of like, they don't know how you're built. Let's show them. And I'm like, okay. Like I kind of felt that when she said it. Like I'm like, I feel that. Like people don't know how we're built. Like let's like show them. But I feel like at the same time there needs to be someone else in the room being like, no, but if you're throwing up to the point where we need a bucket on stage while you're practicing,
Yeah,
you should
that was
probably go home,
wild.
you know?
She was like, "Do you need a
But again,
bucket?"
it made me think about Beyonce and like Michael Jackson and like the greats that she was talking about. Like those people probably would have stayed. Beyonce has probably, I mean, even like I can think of
You
like
know, she
basketball
performed.
players who have like played with migraines. Like it's just like at a certain point, there are people who just like
I mean,
push
yes,
that, you know?
Alexis, I agree.
Mm,
And that I feel like there is levels to it. I do feel
mm,
like, especially, I feel like now in just life, I'm learning, like, I think just at the studio with like all these pole dancers and like
mm,
aerials, like, it's like, this is hard. Like,
mm,
anything you want to do and be really good at, like, you gotta pray that
mm,
price. And so
mm,
I agree. And I'm sure it's like, yes, you got to know your limits, because that was also very clear.
mm,
everybody else is getting paid on you. So if you say, I need a break, Morian's checks is stopping, blah, blah. So like
that Josh boy who was giving her the schedule, shit's stopping.
Sam at Rock
Everything. Yeah.
Nation.
Everyone.
Like, so that's another reason why it's just like important to have people that in all aspects of your life, like just don't see her as Megan Pete. Just like can give you that extra nod and like you said, like don't look at Jupiter. So yeah.
Let's wrap it up. Let's end with Beyonce. Beyonce is also on Trial, the music video. But today she dropped, not in a bad way. Trial is just we're talking about you. But today she released, or maybe last night she released the visual, the music video for Bodyguard, and the whole concept was like she was pretending to be like kind of playing on Pamela Anderson for BeyWatch and for in
Barbed wire.
Yeah, what was it? Say it again.
Barbed wire. It was
yes. And so it's just like she was playing on that, and there was a lot of mixed reaction. But I literally, like, when I was walking home from the gym, literally it was like, it is the #1 stream music video in the U.S. like today. So it's like people are watching it whether we like it or not. So my question is, what are your thoughts?
Oh no.
Okay, so I have a question. I'm confused. I'm like, what is this? Like, I know we talked earlier before when you called me, you were like, okay, so it's like she's singing Bodyguard, like, throw a song, whatever. And I come home, I watch it with Danielle, and I'm just like,
underwhelmed.
What is happening? And so I'm like, and then I watch a video, it was like Access News or whatever. It's like, Beyonce drops the first visual for Cowboy Card, and it's like, is this a video?
No.
It's like, and I was like, your PR team, like, right, like, what is the team doing? Because it's like, people think this is the visual, and I honestly feel like it doesn't say Bodyguard official video. It says Be Halloween and vote at the end of it.
But then why do go ahead.
I feel like this was something to put out for voting day.
Yeah.
And I also
That's
feel
stupid.
like I think it's weird. Sorry, I think it's weird that so many things, but it's just like this should have been a reel on and more edited and just like for Halloween and just say vote.
Yeah.
Who did it? I'm just like, who is your editor, boo?
This is just one of those times where like the mysteriousness of Beyonce kind of fails. Like I feel like she likes to do the thing where she just posts on Instagram and it's over. She doesn't put any captions, or the caption is something very vague, and it's just like this is one of those times where it's like you should talk more or explain more, because yes, people are thinking this is a music video, and if they are, they're very underwhelmed because it doesn't even go with the like arc of Cowboy Carter that we were thinking.
I'm so confused.
And I don't know, I was just underwhelmed. Like that's just like what I kind of thought. What do you think, Courtney?
I want you to watch it again, Alexis, like a couple times. I want you to just do that for us.
I think that it's weird. This is definitely not a visual. Absolutely not. This was filmed like by her husband or her assistant at her house. This was very obviously her house. They like made up that like step and repeat in the back that said like, 9999, no visual. Like no visual.
That was weird.
And that was
I'm over this non-visual thing.
Yeah, I'm over it too. But also
the gag's up.
Like that photo was so photoshopped. So
wait, which photo? Which photo?
The one with the backdrop.
Wait, what was photoshopped about it? Just like her.
Looks like she took a photo of herself somewhere else and placed herself there. She did because like they made up. But
that's hilarious.
I'm like, also it's not a.
You're right. It does look like that.
Halloween costume. I'm sorry, Pamela Anderson.
I'm like,
not excited
why does
about
Pamela
it.
Anderson get a 3-minute video? What did this girl do?
I mean, I think
This
she's
white woman.
Pamela Anderson has a cooking show coming out, so maybe it's
Yeah.
like PR.
And
but
I
like,
know that Pamela Anderson has been like, not wearing makeup and like,
yeah,
she's like a powerful woman.
right, but
Be,
not this
Pamela
exciting.
Anderson, but why put that out on Halloween and then say vote?
And what does
Or
it
it's a
have to do
Halloween?
with voting? What does any of the video have to do with voting?
Nothing besides the end of it.
That's why I'm like, I don't know. I feel like this is my thing. She's been so secret with the visuals that to me, I'm like,
And then she's
they
like,
needed to be now when you release them the most intentional, thoughtful videos
Right.
you ever had, because you have like made it very clear that like Renaissance is not happening unless it's happening later. Cowboy Carter isn't happening unless it's happening later. So it's like it needs to be more intentional. So it's like my vision of Bodyguard was not gonna just be like you doing BeyWatch and you just it wasn't that. And
it
it's
was
just like it was,
associated with Halloween. Like,
and it just lacked the effects and visuals of a normal Beyonce level. Like we've had the gift. Like this was literally just different
Also, like her
versions of her singing.
Showing off her nails and her outfits was better than this video.
Exactly. It was like
I don't fucking know what she was
it was
doing.
almost like it was just I don't know.
It was strange, and that's why I was underwhelmed.
The things that make the light of day from Beyonce's Vault, and this is like I don't know. It's just like this is weird. It's just like usually Beyonce doesn't let us see when things just aren't like really well done.
I just want to know what the vision is now.
Scary. Like,
there's different acts. What is the visual? Like, sorry, no. What is the vision? Like, are we gonna at the end? Are we at the end gonna bring out the visuals? Like, what is the vision? Because
she's not
right now,
visuals. She has told us multiple.
You don't even think at the end of Act 3 we're gonna get like all of them?
It's funny. Danielle was like, "Oh, you guys feel like she has a real like." Because I was telling her, I was like, some people are like, she's gonna have like a streaming service, and,
right?
Like,
yes.
She's like, "Oh, y'all are giving her like, she's about to."
She's about to what?
That she's about to like give us like this like huge like that she has this like
that's what I'm hoping for.
But like this video, I am hoping, yes. But the fact that this video came out, it just really made me feel like, okay, the team is not communicating. Like, what does Bodyguard have to do with voting? What does Bodyguard have to do with BeyWatch and Pamela Anderson? Yes, Halloween. Yes, make a reel with Bodyguard in the background. But doing the whole song, it just was not the moment.
She don't know.
It was weird. Trapped. Beyonce is trapped somewhere. Somebody has trapped her.
I just want the vision. Like, what is the vision for this?
Like, this was confusing for me as a Beyonce fan, and the fact that the news, like, Good Morning America is saying that this is the first visual for Cowboy Carter. There's something amiss. Like, they didn't understand, or is this like? And I'm sick. I'm sorry. I'm just over the no visuals. The no, like, that's not fun and nice, and it's just not fun, especially on fucking election day. We're already fucking depressed. Like, don't fucking tease us with a no visual. Like, what, girl? I'm sorry.
To me, it's just like too long of a joke. Like, at a certain point, the joke's not funny anymore. Like, if I kept saying the same joke for at this point 2 years, it would just kind of be like, it's not funny anymore. So for me, I'm just like, okay, there's no visuals. It's just not funny anymore. At a certain point, I just need to know like what else is happening here. Is it just that every 2-3 years you're gonna drop the next act? Like, it's just.
I honestly kind of think Act 3 is coming this year.
Get closer to the mic.
I think that Act 3 is coming out this year, or like.
Oh, me too.
Or in the new year, like right in the beginning of the year.
But I'm just like, what a bust! Like, Renaissance. Like, I just feel like we were so robbed of Renaissance visuals. Like, like that to me. Like, out of all of the albums so far that she has, Renaissance deserves like visuals for it. And so it's just like, what a missed opportunity, honestly.
But also just like you
could have had ballroom at the like on a
Oh
visual,
my
you know,
god,
like ballroom
these
culture, and
little
you just
bits
blew
that we
it. Like,
got, the little bits that we got, it's just
you
like
blew it.
Alexis. Let's play. Let's hope that let's do some, prayer circles for more, a master plan. But yeah, it is like, but now that's what's making me mad. It's like those visuals couldn't make the light of day, but now we're getting this random thing, like,
Right, because we
and
saw
I
her
don't
out in
even.
public
It was just like,
doing stuff.
and like how usually when Beyonce puts something out, it's like my eyes are like glued to the TV, like I want to see every second, like I was having to feed Jupiter and was just like okay, like whatever. And then like it just I don't know, B. I don't know, B. I want your people to be honest with you, but we got some good Beyonce stuff coming
We
out.
did. I mean, it's just look, what we want is simple. We want visuals for
So
Renaissance. We
simple.
want visuals for Cowboy Carter that make sense. And we want Act 3
Stop
coming and
playing
then
with us
visuals for
and
Act
asking for
3. That's what
money.
I want. At this point, I want things that make
Right.
sense. I don't give a damn about the Pamela Anderson stuff. I don't care about the like you
A
singing and
3-minute video for Pamela Anderson.
Beyonce's
it was
at home
just
trying to figure out
underwhelming.
what other product she's going to make for us to buy. She had her candle, she had her sacred. She's gonna come out with furniture next.
Next gonna be cowboy boots. It's like, girl.
And then she had
Yeah.
the Sir Davis in the video.
Yeah, this her day. That's
I'm just
true.
like, boo, have it. What about that fucking video? Okay, maybe. Okay, this is giving Beyonce a lot. Maybe we're gonna get a body like a real bodyguard video coming out soon because I'm like, what was that whole thing where
Then
she
this would have been
Like,
even more.
this
That, to me, that would make this even more stupid. To
or
release
like
this and then a real video later.
I know, but I'm just like, what happened to those videos where remember she was like walking into a barnyard and they were like dancing or like she had the
At
cowboy
this point,
hat
I believe that like half of that shit was just for fun. Like it's just like you gave us a teaser for Renaissance and we never saw anything from it. Like at this point, I just feel like she's just like dropping shit to like make sure that like
on. That is
the
not.
relevancy's there, the energy's up, but it's just like at the end of the day, like it amounts to nothing. And so it's just like, look, what the ask is simple again. We want visuals for Renaissance that make sense in a story arc. We want the same shit for Cowboy Carter. Then for Act 3, we want the same shit. Like it's that simple, you know. So it's just like
And
get it done.
if it's gonna be if you have a master plan, like it's time to get that rollout tight and like I do kind of feel like put the rock album out. The music is what usually is great.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
always not usually. It has been
Mm-hmm.
forever. And so it's like, and then girl, get to the master plan with the visuals. You're gonna have to do something. Because
Mm-hmm.
also it's like, why isn't Renaissance that came out in the movie theaters available on any
Like
streaming? It's like
That's what
this
I'm
is
saying. I do think there's a master plan, but we'll see.
Ghetto.
it is. And I'm just like, okay, so you're just gonna like put it out. Like even if you're gonna make your own streaming service,
Or sell it.
do it.
Make a DVD or something.
Yes,
Sell it.
make a DVD.
Damn.
We will buy it. You know we will buy it. And we don't even got DVD players.
Yeah.
And so, but exactly.
Sell that too.
So, but that's the type of stuff that I would love to buy. I would buy a DVD of the Renaissance thing. Luckily, my parents still have DVD player at home, just so that I can watch it again.
I want to.
Well, this has been a fun.
Me too. I
I
want
didn't
that
really like
too.
that movie.
Let's
like
wrap it up though. I feel like we have chatted
Yeah.
about a lot of things. Sorry about the like. I'm sure it'll be a little glitchy in the.
This is Okra for everybody that is watching. This is Courtney's baby, another dog of the pod. And yeah, we love you guys so much. Please email us at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. We have a lot of great stuff coming for you. Check our show notes for our Cash App and our Venmo to give us a little donation. We love you guys.
And we'll end it on that
Yes,
note.
we love you guys.
We
so
love
much.
y'all so
Take
much.
care of yourself. We're gonna have the next Black.
Next time we'll talk. We'll have a black woman president for
Yeah.
2025.
I can't
Manifesting.
wait.
Let's do
I
it.
can't wait. Love you guys.
Bye,
Bye.
friends.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.